Today, for our devotional, I'm going to be reading a very special book called You Are Special. And this book means a lot to me because this is the book that I always read when I would go over to my grandma's house. And Grandma, if you're watching this, hi, I love you. Thank you for the book. But this book is one of my favorites, and last time I was over at my grandma's house, I was saying how I needed to get myself a copy because I'd love to read it to Lily, and she actually just gave me hers, and so I want to share this with you. The Weemics were small wooden people. All of the wooden people were carved by a woodworker named Eli. His workshop sat on a hill overlooking their village. Each Weemic was different. Some had big noses, others had large eyes. Some were tall and others were short. Some wore hats, others wore coats. But all were made by the same carver, and all lived in the village. And all day, every day, the Weemics did the same thing. They gave each other stickers. Each Weemic had a box of golden star stickers and a box of gray dot stickers. Up and down the streets, all over the city, people spent their days sticking stars or dots on one another. The pretty ones, those with smooth wood and fine paint, always got stars. But if the wood was rough or the paint chipped, the Weemics gave dots. The talented ones got stars too. Some could lift big sticks high above their heads or jump over tall boxes. Still others knew big words or could sing pretty songs. Everyone gave them stars. Some Weemics had stars all over them. Every time they got a star, it made them feel so good. It made them want to do something else and get another star. Others, though, could do little, and they got dots. Punchinello was one of these. He tried to jump high like the others, but he always fell. And when he fell, the others would gather around and give him dots. Sometimes when he fell, his wood got scratched, so the people would give him more dots. Then when he would try to explain why he fell, he would say something silly, and the Weemics would give him more dots. After a while, he had so many dots that he didn't want to go outside. He was afraid he would do something dumb, such as forget his hat or step in the water, and then people would give him another dot. In fact, he had so many gray dots that some people would come up and give him one for no reason at all. He deserves lots of dots, the wooden people would agree with one another. He's not a good wooden person. After a while, Punchinello believed them. I'm not a good Weemic, he would say. The few times he went outside, he hung around other Weemics who had a lot of dots. He felt better around them. One day he met a Weemic who was unlike any he'd ever met. She had no dots or stars. She was just wooden. Her name was Lucia. It wasn't that people didn't try to give her stickers. It's just that the stickers didn't stick. Some of the Weemics admired Lucia for having no dots, so they would run up and give her a star, but it would fall off. Others would look down on her for having no stars, so they would give her a dot, but it wouldn't stay either. That's the way I want to be, thought Punchinello. I don't want anyone's marks. So he asked the stickerless Weemic how she did it. It's easy, Lucia replied. Every day I go see Eli. Eli? Yes, Eli, the woodcarver. I sit in the workshop with him. Why? Why don't you find out for yourself? Go up the hill. He's there. And with that, the Weemick who had no stickers turned and skipped away. But will he want to see me? Punchinello cried out. Lucia didn't hear, so Punchinello went home. He sat near a window and watched the wooden people as they scurried around, giving each other stars and dots. It's not right, he muttered to himself, and he decided to go see Eli. He walked up the narrow path to the top of the hill and stepped into the big shop. His wooden eyes widened at the size of everything. The stool was as tall as he was. He had to stretch on his tiptoes to see the top of the workbench. A hammer was as long as his arm. Punchinello swallowed hard. I'm not staying here. And he turned to leave. Then he heard his name. Punchinello? The voice was deep and strong. Punchinello stopped. Punchinello, how good to see you! Come and let me have a look at you. Punchinello turned slowly and looked at the large, bearded craftsman. You know my name? The little Weemick asked. Of course I do. I made you. Eli stooped down and picked him up and set him on the bench. The maker spoke thoughtfully as he looked at the gray dots. Looks like you've been given some bad marks. I didn't mean to, Eli. I really tried hard. Oh, you don't have to defend yourself to me, child. I don't care what the other Weemicks think. You don't? No, and you shouldn't either. Who are they to give stars or dots? They're Weemicks, just like you. What they think doesn't matter, Punchinello. All that matters is what I think, and I think you are pretty special. Whoop. Punchinello laughed. Me? Special? Why? I can't walk fast. I can't jump. My paint is peeling. Why do I matter to you? Eli looked at Punchinello, put his hands on those small wooden shoulders, and spoke very slowly. Because you're mine. That's why you matter to me. Punchinello had never had anyone look at him like this, much less his maker. He didn't know what to say. Every day I'd been hoping you'd come, Eli explained. I came because I met someone who had no marks, said Punchinello. I know. She told me about you. Why don't the stickers stay on her? The maker spoke softly. Because she has decided that what I think is more important than what they think. The stickers only stick if you let them. What? The stickers only stick if they matter to you. The more you trust my love, the less you care about their stickers. I'm not sure I understand. Eli smiled. You will, but it will take time. You've got a lot of marks. For now, just come to see me every day and let me remind you how much I care. Eli lifted Punchinello off the bench and set him on the ground. Remember, Eli said as the Weemick walked out the door, you are special because I made you, and I don't make mistakes. Punchinello didn't stop, but in his heart he thought, I think he really means it. And when he did, a dot fell to the ground. This book, as I said, meant a lot to me as I was growing up because it's a beautiful illustration of how our God views us. And it's also an interesting perspective on how we view each other. We currently are living in a time where labels seem to be everything, where you have to be so subdivided into labels, or you are divided into one party or another, that we lose focus of who we really are. And I wanted to talk about labels because I think labels can be a good thing and they can also be a very bad thing. And they can be a good thing because at times they can help us to find people who are like us. For instance, as Christians, we call each other Christians. That's a label. And that can help us to meet someone. If we ask them if they're a Christian as well, then we know that we have that in common. And for other groups of people as well, for my father who loves Star Wars, if he meets someone and they call themselves a Star Wars enthusiast, then he knows that he's going to get along with them. And there are labels that can be good for us. But when labels start to get really bad is when they start to become defining. When it starts to be, oh, that person is a Star Wars enthusiast? Well, I already know all I need to know about them. It's when we pigeonhole people based on labels. And when we start to believe the labels that people place on us. You see, this book teaches us that the labels that other people give us, the dots or the stars, they don't matter at the end of the day. What matters is the label that God gives us. What matters is what He thinks about us. And in a society that's so bent on giving us labels for everything, I encourage you guys to remember that the only label that really truly matters is the one we're given by God, and that is redeemed. We're given the label of children of God. We've been adopted into His family through His Son, Jesus Christ. And we are made in His image. When God created humankind, He said, "It is good." That's part of who we are, and we don't have to do anything spectacular or wonderful or label ourselves anyway. It doesn't matter what other people think of us. It doesn't matter what labels we give ourselves. God loves us just because He made us. And so that's my encouragement to you this week, is that at a time when we're so bent on labeling one another, remember who gives you your real label. Remember who gives you your real identity, and that is Christ. I'll talk to you all soon. Have a good day. Bye.